Every Monday, just after our fitness, David Brooke from Sport24 joins us in studio to give us a wrap on what happened in the sporting world over the weekend. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Firstly, before we start, I want to know, what was your favourite Madiba sporting moment?
It's got to be the 1995 Rugby World Cup when he walked out there to hand that trophy to Francois Pienaar. I was a very young kid, but even then, the memory is still there. That was the most unbelievable moment.
Now,
he's just a legend.
Springboks, what happened over the weekend with their flight having to turn back from
Australia?
Australia?
There was a bit of drama there. They were on a Qantas flight to Australia, and 2 hours into the flight, they had to turn around after an engine failed and return back to Joburg. All of a sudden, John Smith and the guys were tweeting saying, just seen the engine blown up next to us, we're heading back to Joburg. So they spent the night back in Joburg. John Smith actually had a very funny tweet saying, we've come back from the tour unbeaten. So, you know, before they've even left, they've got drama, but they eventually got on a flight. They got to Sydney yesterday. They're playing Australia on Saturday in Sydney.
They arrived with a very non-warm welcome because there was no one there to welcome them like in the previous years.
There's no love lost between the two countries. So, and Australia yesterday had a shocking defeat to Samoa, of all teams, you know. So now Australia are smarting from that defeat. They're going to face, it's going to be a tough game against Australia this weekend. There's going to be a couple of decisions made by Peter de Villiers this week, but I expect to see Ruan Pienaar and Morné Steyn as the halfback pairing. So it should be a great game. Saturday, 12 o'clock kickoff, South African time. Perfect for a braai, perfect for a couple of beers. Brilliant weekend ahead.
But then, of course, it's Currie Cup as well. A bit of a shocker of a weekend.
Yeah,
with some of the teams, my team especially.
Yeah, the Sharks are the defending champions, and they proved that this weekend that they want to defend their title. They played the Bulls in Durban. Difficult first game for both teams. And the Sharks made a big statement. They came out there, and Keegan Daniel, the captain, he was actually left out of the Tri-Nation side. So he's trying to prove a point that he deserves to be in the national team. And he had a cracking game. And they beat the Bulls. There were also Province and Griquas drew. Griquas was a tough first game for Province in Cape Town. Province are still like on their Stormers Super Rugby season. They had literally had a couple of weeks break, bringing in a few of the youngsters. And still a long season ahead. There were wins for the Lions and the Cheetahs as well, but it's a long season and it's too early to call something right now.
And then, of course, my favourite English Premiership side,
Spurs are in town.
Yes, are in
Spurs are in town for the Vodacom Challenge. They're playing Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates. On Saturday, they played Kaizer Chiefs and Polokwane. 0-0 going up to the last couple of minutes, and George Lubesi scored a cracking goal, sent the crowd into absolute raptures. You know, I mean, Spurs come here, this is their first warm-up game of the season. They come here to a Kaizer Chiefs side fired up in front of a capacity crowd in Polokwane. And it was just a great game. It's fantastic. I think we've become accustomed to seeing these international teams here now, and it's like the norm. Okay, Spurs are in town.
Yay.
You know, we'll just go down to the local games to watch Stephen Pienaar and the boys. So yeah, no, it was a great weekend. They now play Pirates Spurs tomorrow.
And then British Open this weekend, wrapped up last night.
Yeah, I was in the gym last night watching the end of the golf.
You were in the gym last night?
So
You're practicing. Do you think we're going to throw you in again on a Monday?
You never know. You never know. I've got to come prepared.
Yes.
So anyway, Darren Clarke, he's one of the more popular guys on the tour. And he's one of those guys that have never won a major despite being so close so many times. And last night, he finally won the major. He's gone through some drama in his life, his family problems, and his wife passed away a few years ago. So it's great to see that. So for 3 majors down this year, 2 Northern Irishmen and a South African. So it's looking good for European and South African golf especially.
Now, Dave, you join us every Monday and you always talk about boys in sport.
Yeah.
Why are you not telling us about what happened in the
It was a very late last night.
Soccer World Cup with the Women's Soccer World Cup?
Yeah, well, Japan and USA played last night in the final, and it was an absolutely brilliant game and a great advertisement for women football. 2-2 going into extra time. After extra time, penalties, American duffed it, Japan took the victory. Unreal.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and for telling us more about the
Happy
sport
birthday,
in the week.
Madiba.
Happy birthday, Madiba. Now we're going over from women doing well in football. We're going to find out how to eat healthy with Ewan and our chef, Neil Anthony.